Keep talking. The cuffs are too tight.
You should have listened.
To which lawful order? Move. Sergeant.
Wait, shh, stay back.
Note the time.
It's 1:14. Nobody asked you.
Do you know who is arriving in 3 minutes?
I don't care who you called.
Nobody's coming. Check the secured line.
Keep walking.
Sergeant, the red line is active.
Ignore it. Do you know what your body cameras just recorded?
Turn yours off.
Sir?
Disable it.
That requires a reason code.
Use equipment test.
That would be false.
That would be false. Why'd a woman have to surrender her dignity before anyone checks her name?
Enough.
Check the identification.
Probably fake.
The seal is official.
Nobody asked you.
Nobody touches those restraints. Sir, we can explain. Sir. Step away. She was interfering. Preserve every camera first. Archive.
Author lock initiated.
Form a line. Form a line. What is this? Now. Why are we lining up? Hands off the computer. The original video is preserved. You went around me? I followed policy.
Attention, sir.
Wait, why are they saluting her?
This can't be right. Look at the seal. You never checked it. Do not remove the cuffs yet. Preserve the image.
The cuffs clicked around the black woman's wrists as half the station watched. "Keep talking," the sergeant said, pushing her toward booking. She did not resist. She only glanced at the clock and asked, "Do you know who is arriving in 3 minutes? Do you know what your body cameras just recorded? And why does a woman have to surrender her dignity before anyone checks her name?" Then the front doors burst open. Boots struck tile. Every officer in the room went silent, and one by one, hands rose in salute. What had they ignored? And what would it cost them? Stay until the end, because the answer changes the entire station. The first man through the doorway did not raise his voice. "Nobody touches those restraints." The command stopped Sergeant Hale's hand inches from Lena's wrist. Rain rattled against the windows. Water darkened the officials entering behind Victor Shaw, a broad-shouldered man of 57 with silver at his temples. Officer Rusk straightened. "Sir, she was detained for interfering with—" "Stop!" Shaw's eyes moved from Lena's cuffed hands to the burgundy folder on the counter. One corner had bent beneath an evidence tray. The metal edge of the cuff tapped her brown leather watch whenever she moved. Click. Hale reached for his key again. "We can clear this up immediately." Lena stepped away. "Not yet." Every face turned toward her. She had spoken quietly, but the room obeyed. "I'm trying to remove them," Hale said. "First, preserve every recording made since I entered." Captain Dana Whitcomb pushed through the doorway, fastening her jacket. "The system records automatically." Lena looked at her. "Does it?" Whitcomb did not answer. Shaw turned to Evelyn Cho, the internal control director. "Lock the camera archive. Lobby, booking, hallways, interview rooms. Freeze deletion access." Cho typed on her tablet. "Effective now." "And the dispatch log," Lena added. "The evidence record. Every call placed from this desk." Rusk gave a disbelieving laugh. "You can't order." The young officer near the computer, Evan Price, lowered his eyes. His body camera still showed a red light. Shaw faced Rusk. "You will not speak unless Director Cho asks you a question." The laugh vanished. Across the lobby, the courier who had filmed the arrest held his phone against his chest. Marisol Vega stood beside the printer with one hand over her mouth. No one picked up the fallen paper cup. Its last drop of coffee slid along a grout line. Hale swallowed. "Deputy Superintendent, we did not know who she was." The cuff touched Lena's watch. Click. "That is not the first question," she said. Shaw studied her. "What is?" "Whether you would have treated me differently if you had known." A fluorescent tube buzzed overhead. Beyond the glass, a desk phone began ringing and kept ringing. Whitcomb looked at Shaw. "Who exactly is she?" He drew breath, but Lena raised one cuffed hand as far as the chain allowed. "Before you answer, photograph the restraint number and its position. Confirm that no report has been altered." Price glanced toward the report open on his monitor. Cho noticed. Step away from that computer. Hale turned. That report isn't finished. Then it stays unfinished. Cho crossed the room, sealed the keyboard, and asked Price, "Were you told to disable your camera?" His throat worked. "Yes." "Did you?" "No." The red light kept blinking. Lena's shoulders lowered by half an inch. Shaw stepped beside her. "Ma'am, the announcement team is waiting. The governor's office is calling. Your family has been trying to reach you." At the word family, Lena glanced at her watch. Beneath the leather strap, the folded edge of a concert ticket pressed into her skin. At 6:45 that morning, the same watch and ticket had rested beside a cooling cup of coffee, and a promise she had already broken once. At 6:45 a.m., Lena turned the coffee mug so the chipped side faced the wall. Rain ticked against the kitchen window. On the table lay a sealed appointment packet, a burgundy folder, and the brown leather watch her father had worn in service. Her phone vibrated. Naomi. Front row. This time. Lena read the message twice before fastening the watch. Beneath the strap, she tucked the folded concert ticket and its note. "You'll cut off your circulation," Naomi said from the doorway. "You used your key. You ignore calls before 7. Naomi entered carrying a cello case slick with rain. At 24, she had her mother's height, but not her stillness. She set it beside the radiator and nodded toward the packet. "So today's the day?" "Today is an inspection." "That wasn't my question. The announcement is at 5, and my concert is at 7:30. "I know." Naomi opened the refrigerator, then shut it harder than necessary. Glass jars clicked inside. "You knew last year, too." The heater hissed. Lena placed the untouched coffee down. Last year, a review hearing had run 4 hours late. Naomi had played to a full room and one empty seat marked Carter. They had never argued afterward. That had made it worse. "I will be there," Lena said. "Don't say it like an order." Lena's fingers covered the ticket beneath her watch. The paper edge pressed into her skin. "Then how should I say it?" "Like it costs you something." Only the rain answered. Lena took a towel from the oven handle and wiped the cello case near the brass latch. "I will leave Greyhaven by 6:15, she said. "No reception, no photographs, no speech longer than 3 minutes. Naomi gave a brief smile. "You timed the speech?" "I timed the drive." The smile faded when Lena's secure phone lit up. April Morgan. Lena declined the call. "That was important. So are you." Naomi looked at the wet towel in her mother's hands. "Seat A-12, she said. "Don't make me look for you." "I won't." After Naomi left for rehearsal, Lena pinned her shoulder-length twists into a low knot, chose silver studs, and pulled a charcoal jacket over a cream blouse. The uniform in the closet remained untouched. Her second phone rang. "Superintendent designate," April Morgan said. "The security detail is downstairs." "Send them away." A pause. "The board expects a formal arrival." "The station expects one. I need to see what happens before people know I'm coming." "You're visiting number 12 alone?" "As a civilian filing a complaint." "Their accreditation review is next week." "Exactly." April lowered her voice. "There are gaps in the complaint logs." "How many?" "We don't know." Lena slid the appointment letter into the burgundy folder. "Then I'll ask at the public desk." "Victor will object." "After I have an answer." At 8:03, Lena entered the elevator. It smelled of wet wool and machine oil. She watched the floor numbers descend, one amber light at a time. Before the doors opened, she checked the ticket under her watch. Front row. This time. Outside, no driver waited. Only her dark sedan stood beneath the cold October rain, and by noon, station number 12 would believe she was just another woman asking questions. At 11:42 a.m., Lena parked 2 blocks from station number 12 and walked through steady rain. Cold water slipped beneath her collar. Tires hissed over black pavement. By the time she reached the entrance, droplets clung to the burgundy folder beneath her arm. Inside, the lobby smelled of wet wool, burnt coffee, and floor cleaner. A television above 3 plastic chairs played without sound. Behind glass, a woman with copper-framed glasses sorted forms into blue trays. "Good morning," Lena said. The woman opened the slot. "Can I help you?" "I need the procedure for filing a civilian complaint." "Against an officer?" "Does that change the procedure?" "No, it shouldn't. Marisol Vega, records." "Lena Carter." Marisol produced a laminated sheet. "You can submit a form here, by mail, or through the state portal." "Who reviews it?" "The shift supervisor." "And if it concerns the shift supervisor?" Marisol's hand stopped. A printer clicked behind her. Deeper inside, a metal door slammed. "That's a fair question." Rainwater slid from Lena's folder and struck the tile. Tap, tap. She checked the brochure rack. 3 slots were empty. A 4th held expired parking forms. "Are complaint forms available without asking?" "They're supposed to be." "May I photograph the posted instructions?" "Of course. They're public." Lena raised her phone. The notice beside the window had curled at one corner, and clear tape covered a line about anonymous complaints. A uniformed officer entered carrying a foam cup. He was 34, compact, with a clipped blonde beard and a habit of pressing his tongue against one cheek before speaking. "Ma'am, put the phone away." Lena lowered it slightly. "Why?" "Because I told you to." Marisol straightened. "Officer Rusk, she's photographing the notice." "I can see that." "Then which rule prohibits it?" Lena asked. Rusk set down his cup. Coffee rolled over the rim. "This is a police facility." "This is the public lobby." "You don't decide what's public." "The sign does." His gaze moved from her phone to the wet folder. "Do you have business here?" "I'm filing a complaint." "About what?" "That remains private until I submit it." Rusk looked at Marisol. "Did you give her paperwork?" "I was about to." "Don't." Marisol kept one hand on the form. "She has a right to it." "I said don't." Blue light crossed the glass. A courier in a gray jacket looked up from his phone, then lowered it without darkening the screen. Lena placed her phone face up on the counter. "Are you denying access to the complaint process?" "I'm telling you to stop recording." "It isn't recording." "Unlock it." "No." His jaw shifted. Marisol whispered, "Caleb, let me handle this." The first name made him glance toward the courier, who was watching now. Rusk came around the counter and stopped within arm's reach. "Last chance. Put it away and leave." Lena did not move. Another drop fell from the folder and darkened the grout line between them. "What law have I broken?" Rusk touched the radio on his shoulder. "Sergeant Hale," he said, keeping his eyes on her. "I need you in the lobby." Marisol slid the complaint form half an inch toward Lena before his shadow covered it. Rusk's shadow swallowed the edge of the complaint form. "Step back from the counter." Lena left her phone where it was. "Am I being detained?" "You're being instructed." "That wasn't my question." The courier near the plastic chairs shifted. His thumb moved across his screen. Marisol saw it and looked away. Rusk came closer. Hands where I can see them. They are. Turn around. For what reason? His radio crackled before Sergeant Martin Hale entered, broad-shouldered, gray threaded through his close-cut hair. What do we have? Refusal to comply, Rusk said. Possible unauthorized recording. Marisol opened her mouth. She was only... Hale lifted 2 fingers. She stopped. Lena asked, Is requesting a complaint form now refusal? Hale studied her coat and the rain on the folder. Ma'am, lower your voice. I haven't raised it. The fluorescent ballast hummed. You've been given a lawful direction, Hale said. Which law makes it lawful? The paper cup near Rusk's elbow tipped as he turned. It hit the tile and rolled in a slow circle, coffee drawing a crescent across the floor. No one picked it up. Rusk reached for Lena's wrist. Do not pull away. I'm not. He guided one arm behind her back. The burgundy folder slipped, struck the floor, and opened. The sealed letter slid halfway out. Marisol stepped forward. Officer, wait. Her documents. Stay behind the desk, Hale said. The courier raised his phone openly. Rusk glanced at him. Put that away. I'm in the public lobby. Sir, Jonah Reed, the courier said, and I'm not interfering. Hale pointed to the exit. You can leave. Jonah's hand shook, but the phone stayed up. Then arrest me too. The second cuff closed around Lena's wrist with a metallic click. Cold bit through her skin. Rusk tightened it another notch. That's enough, Lena said. You don't set the level. No, policy does. Hale looked at the folder. A silver seal showed beneath the wet flap. He bent, pushed the letter inside without reading it, and snapped the cover shut. What's in here? Identification and correspondence you should verify. Rusk laughed. Everybody has a story. Lena turned enough to see Marisol. The clerk's fingers had gone white around the counter. Please note the time, Lena said. Hale checked the wall clock. 11:47. Thank you. Rusk guided her toward the secure door. Her shoulder brushed the chilled glass partition. Behind it, Marisol whispered, I'm sorry. Lena stopped. Rusk pulled at the chain. Keep moving. She looked back at Marisol. Don't apologize. Preserve what you saw. The courier's phone captured the moment. So did the camera dome above the entrance, its red indicator blinking. Hale noticed both. Price, he called through the doorway. Take the phone and folder. A young officer appeared, glanced at Lena's wrists, then at the silver seal beneath the clasp. Sergeant, he said quietly, shouldn't we verify her ID first? Hale's face hardened. Now! Price reached for the folder, but Lena's phone lit on the counter. Naomi calling. The vibration rattled against the glass while Rusk pulled Lena through the locking door. The secure door shut behind Lena with a hydraulic sigh. Her phone kept vibrating beyond the glass. Naomi calling. Rusk guided her down a corridor smelling of disinfectant and old paper. The cuffs pressed against her watch whenever he moved her arm. Too tight, Lena said. They're secure. That wasn't what I said. At the booking desk, Hale dropped the rain-darkened burgundy folder beside a keyboard. The silver seal flashed beneath the fluorescent light. Officer Evan Price followed, his body camera blinking red. Empty her pockets, Hale said. Should we log the phone first? Price asked. Do what I told you. Lena leaned toward the counter. My identification is inside that folder. Hale opened it halfway. State letterhead appeared. He shut it. Could be printed anywhere. Call the number at the bottom. We don't take instructions from detainees. Price studied the seal. Sergeant, That embossing is used on executive appointments. Hale turned. Are you authenticating documents now? No, sir. Then stop. A printer rasped out an intake sheet. Rusk entered Lena's name. Date of birth? She gave it. Address? On my license. You're making this difficult. You haven't looked at the license. Rusk's fingers froze. Hale opened the wallet from the folder. His thumb covered the title line. What does it say? Price asked. Hale snapped it closed. We verify through the system. Then verify it, Lena said. He slid the wallet into an evidence tray. Marisol appeared at the corridor entrance. Sergeant, the code on her letter starts with GEX. Hale's jaw tightened. And? That isn't a civilian filing code. Maybe she copied it, Rusk said. I've seen that prefix on state oversight documents. Back to records. Marisol lowered her eyes, but before turning, she read the number beneath the seal. Price stepped closer. Ma'am, are you hurt? No. The cuffs? One notch looser would meet policy. Rusk scoffed. She's fine. Price reached for the keys. Hale stopped him with a look. Leave them. The metal edge touched Lena's watch. Click. Her phone vibrated in the tray, lighting the room pale blue. Naomi. Sound check started. Are you coming? Lena watched until the message vanished. You'll get a call after processing, Hale said. When? When we're done. Document that answer. He laughed once. You think this is a hearing? No. Hearings have rules people read. Price looked down. Rusk opened a report. Subject became argumentative after being advised. That is false, Lena said. You interrupted me. I corrected the record. Hale leaned over the monitor. Write that she challenged lawful commands. Price's camera faced the screen. Lena turned toward him. Officer, what is your badge number? Hale answered first. You don't question my staff. I asked him. Price swallowed. 714. Thank you, Officer Price. Rusk resumed typing. Marisol passed the corridor again, holding a desk phone close to her side, its cord stretched taut from records. Hale saw her reflection. Marisol? She stopped. Who are you calling? Her fingers tightened around the receiver. The number you refused to verify. For 1 second, the printer went quiet. For 1 second, the printer went quiet. Hale crossed the corridor. Hang up. Marisol held the receiver tighter. The call connected. To whom? A woman's voice crackled through the handset. Office of Executive Appointments, please state your name. Hale took the phone and ended the call. You do not contact outside offices without authorization, he said. I verified a public number. You interfered with an active booking. Lena watched Marisol's fingers fail twice to fasten her cardigan. Put that in writing, Lena said. Hale turned. You're done directing people. Rusk resumed typing. The keys clicked fast. Subject displayed hostile behavior. Lena read the screen upside down. Delete that. You don't approve reports, Rusk said. You have not described an action. She argued, Hale replied. She asked questions, Price said. Hale faced him. Officer Price, do you want to revise your statement? I haven't made one. Then don't start. Price's body camera pulsed red. He moved so its lens faced the monitor. Hale leaned over Rusk's shoulder. Write that she ignored clear instructions, moved toward Officer Rusk, and disturbed the lobby. I never moved toward him, Lena said. Rusk typed the sentence anyway. Rain struck the narrow windows. Burnt coffee cooled on the desk. Lena's phone vibrated inside the tray, but Hale turned it face down before the name appeared. The station line rang. Hale answered. "Number 12, Sergeant Hale." Captain Dana Whitcomb's voice carried across the desk. "Why is internal routing showing an executive office query from your records section?" "Civilian confusion. We have it contained." "Contained how?" "One disruptive visitor. No formal charge." Paper shuffled on Whitcomb's end. "Our accreditation team arrives Monday. I want no reportable incident attached to this shift." "Understood. Resolve it without generating another complaint." Lena looked at him. "Another?" Hale covered the receiver. "Quiet." Whitcomb heard her. "Who was that?" "The visitor." "What does she want?" "A complaint form." The line went still. Then Whitcomb said, "Move her out of public view, finish the paperwork, and call me before anything enters the permanent system." Price looked at Lena. Lena looked at the blinking red light on his camera. Hale ended the call and pointed down the interview corridor. "Holding room." Rusk printed the report. Warm paper curled into the tray. Hale crossed out the detention time and replaced 11:47 with 11:51. Price saw it. "So did I," Lena said. Hale's pen stopped. "You think every detail matters?" "Only the ones you change." Marisol returned to records, but did not sit. She opened the burgundy folder. Her thumb traced the code beneath the silver seal. GEX-26-041. On a lower shelf, an old directory listed protected government exchanges. She matched the first 6 digits, lifted a second phone, and dialed. A man answered on the second ring. "Executive security." Marisol glanced through the glass at Lena. "My name is Marisol Vega," she whispered. "I think your new superintendent is in our holding room." Behind her, Hale opened the door. "Who are you calling now?" Hale pushed the records room door wider. Marisol lowered the receiver but did not hang up. "Executive security?" the man repeated. "Ma'am?" Hale pressed the cradle down. "You're finished for the day." "I confirmed the code." "You created a problem." "No," Lena called from the corridor. "She found one." Rusk pulled Lena past the second steel door. Cold air stung her throat. A wall clock clicked above a bench bolted to the floor. 12:18 p.m. Price followed with the evidence tray. "Phone stays outside," Hale said. Lena saw 3 missed calls before he placed it beyond the glass. "Naomi, I saved your seat." "Allow me one call." "After processing." "You said that 20 minutes ago." "And you're still talking." Hale opened the holding room. "Maybe sitting quietly will help." The door shut with a rubber-edged thud. Lena sat on the metal bench. Cold traveled through her trousers. The cuffs forced her shoulders forward, and the right one scraped her watch strap. Click. A red line beneath the brown leather met the pale mark under the steel. 1 stroke across her wrist. Outside, Rusk dictated while Price typed. Subject became increasingly confrontational. Price stopped. She asked for a phone call. "Write the behavior." "That is what I'm doing." Hale stepped closer. "Include that she never raised her voice." Rusk folded his arms. "You taking her side?" "I want the report to match the recording." "Turn off your camera," Hale said. Price did not move. "That is a direct order." The red indicator blinked against the glass. At 7:28 p.m., Naomi sat beneath warm stage lights with her cello between her knees. Rosin dust floated above the strings. Programs rustled through the hall. Her accompanist leaned near. Ready? Naomi looked toward seat A12. Empty. A folded program marked the seat. Naomi? She tightened the bow. Skip the introduction. Back at the station, the clock reached 12:41. Lena approached the glass. Sergeant Hale, I am requesting access to a telephone. You already asked. You did not answer. I said when we're done. What charge requires me to wait? You don't cross-examine me from a holding room. I'm asking for the policy. Talkative people always think policy is a shield. Her phone lit again, too far away to read. Document the denial, Lena said. Hale smiled. Sit down. Marisol stood near records. Jonah remained visible through 2 panes of glass, his phone lowered but recording. Price watched the floor. No one opened the door. Lena returned to the bench. At the concert hall, the first cello note spread low and clean. Naomi's bow moved steadily until her eyes found A12 again. The program had slipped to the floor. She missed no note, but her chin pressed harder against the dark wood. At 1:03, Lena's phone stopped lighting. The vent rattled above her. She worked one finger beneath the watch strap and pulled out the ticket. Front row. This time. The red mark divided the words. Beyond the glass, Rusk leaned over Price's keyboard. Add that she advanced toward me after warning. Price kept his hands in his lap. She didn't. Hale reached for the keyboard. Then I'll write it myself. Hale's fingers settled on the keyboard. Then I'll write it myself. Price stepped between him and the monitor. Sir, the camera shows she never moved toward Officer Rusk. Rusk laughed. You reviewing footage now? I was standing there. The cursor blinked after, subject advanced after warning. Move, Hale said. Price shifted only far enough to reach the body camera dock. He pressed one button. A green light appeared. What did you do? Saved the file? You were told to turn it off. I was told to preserve evidence when I joined. Through the holding room glass, Lena watched Price's thumb tremble against the dock. Rusk leaned over the desk and clicked save on the report. There. Price stared at the screen. That statement is false. It's preliminary, Hale said. Clarify it later. After it becomes official? Hale thrust over the tray. Lena's phone and folder scraped against plastic. Inventory her property. Lena stood. Officer Price? He stopped. Do not alter the report for me. Hale smirked. Preserve the first version, every edit, and the timestamps, Lena continued. Then tell the truth when you are asked. Price met her eyes. Yes, ma'am. Rusk glanced at Hale. Why is she talking like that? Neither man answered. At records, Marisol copied GEX-26-041 onto a yellow note. With the main receiver disconnected, she searched an old terminal for State Executive Security After Hours Verification. The wall clock read 1:11 p.m. She dialed from the fax line. Executive Security? This is Marisol Vega at Greyhaven Station 12. I need to verify a detained woman named Lena Carter. A chair scraped behind her. Rusk filled the doorway. Hang up. The voice sharpened. Did you say detained? Marisol held Rusk's gaze. Yes? He reached for the cord. She stepped aside, knocking forms onto the floor. Give me the phone. What is your badge number? The man asked. Rusk pulled the receiver from her hand and ended the call. You're going home. Then log why? His fingers could not close the top button of his jacket. He tried twice and stopped. In booking, Price connected his camera to the archive. Hale appeared behind him. Delete the last 10 minutes. That requires a reason code. Equipment test. It wasn't a test. Hale lowered his voice. You want to finish probation? Price clicked Export. A progress bar crawled across the screen. Hale reached for the cable, but Jonah's voice carried from the lobby. I'm still recording. The courier stood behind the public glass, phone raised. Marisol had opened the inner blind before Rusk removed her. Hale froze. The export reached 100%. Price slipped the encrypted drive beneath the lining of his notebook. Lena heard the soft snap of its cover closing. Marisol gathered the forms. One page lay beside a second phone jack. When Rusk turned away, she plugged in a spare handset and dialed. Someone answered before the first full ring. Deputy Superintendent Shaw's office. Marisol looked through the glass at Lena's cuffed hands. I need you to listen carefully, she whispered. Your new superintendent is here, and they are changing the report. Your new superintendent is here, and they are changing the report. The line died. Your name? A man asked. Marisol Vega, records specialist, Station 12. Do not disconnect. Rusk crossed the lobby. Marisol turned her shoulder, shielding the handset. Who are you talking to? Someone who answered. He reached for the cord. Officer Rusk? Lena called through the glass. Touch that phone, and you had another recorded action. He stopped. Jonah's camera remained pointed at him. The voice returned. Ms. Vega, is Lena Carter restrained? Yes. Is Sergeant Martin Hale present? Yes. Stay where you are. Rusk snatched the receiver. This is Officer Caleb Rusk. Identify yourself. Victor Shaw, Deputy Superintendent. Put Hale on. The color left Rusk's face. Hale took the phone while his other hand rested on the altered report. Hale, confirm Lena Carter's status. She's being held pending review. For what charge? Hale glanced at Rusk. We're determining that. Then release her. We have procedure. You have 90 seconds. The call ended. A red indicator remained lit on the protected line. Hale stared at it. Could be anyone. Price closed his notebook. The number routes through State Command. Rusk whispered, She arranged this. Lena stood behind the glass. Open the door. Hale checked the clock. 1:16 p.m. Not until I know who's coming. That is no longer your decision. He dialed Captain Whitcomb. Dana, we may have a problem. What kind? The woman claims. I haven't claimed anything, Lena said. Whitcomb heard her. Who called? Victor Shaw, or someone using his name. A chair scraped on the other end. Did you verify the secure line? Hale looked at the light. No. Do it now. Before he could answer, the front desk phone rang. Then the internal line. 2 tones cut through the room. Price answered. Station 12. His posture changed. Yes, ma'am, she is here. He listened, then faced Hale. Executive security confirms a state convoy is 2 minutes out. Rusk moved toward the evidence tray. We should uncuff her. No, Lena said. The words stopped him. Hale frowned. You wanted them removed. I wanted policy followed. Now I want their condition documented. Rain hammered the windows. Blue reflections slid across the ceiling as vehicles entered the lot. Marisol stepped closer to the glass. "Ms. Carter, I'm sorry I didn't stop them." Lena looked at her white-knuckled hands. "You made the call? Late. You still made it." Jonah lowered his phone. "Do you want the video?" "Send a copy to independent control. Keep the original." Hale reached for the report. Price covered the keyboard with one hand. "Don't." The sergeant stared at him. "Move your hand." "No, sir." The protected line rang again. No one answered. Outside, car doors slammed. Boots struck wet pavement. Dark-coated figures approached through rain-streaked glass. Hale's fingers hovered over the keyboard. Rusk backed away from the tray. Whitcomb's voice crackled from the abandoned receiver. "Martin, who is arriving?" A knock landed against the doors. Lena's phone lit inside the evidence tray. "Naomi." "The concert is over." Then the doors opened. The doors struck the wall and scattered rain across the tile. Victor Shaw entered first, followed by Evelyn Cho and 2 internal control investigators. "Nobody touches those restraints." Hale's hand stopped above the keys. Rusk straightened. "Sir, she interfered with an officer." "On what charge?" "We were determining that." "You cuffed her before you determined it?" Behind the glass, Steele tapped Lena's watch. Click. Captain Whitcomb hurried in. "Deputy Superintendent, I can explain." "Start with the protected call your station disconnected." "We could not verify it," Hale said. Shaw nodded toward the red light. "You did not try." Cho crossed to Price's desk. "Is your camera active?" "Yes, ma'am." "Were you ordered to disable it?" "Yes." "Did you?" "No." Price handed her the notebook containing his saved copy. Hale stiffened. "That belongs to the station." "Not now," Cho said. Shaw approached the holding room door. "Ms. Carter, may we remove the cuffs?" "After they are photographed, numbered, and logged." Whitcomb stared at her. "Who is she?" Shaw turned to the officers filling the lobby. "Form a line." Boots scraped over tile. Jonah kept his phone raised. "This is Lena Carter," Shaw said. "Former Brigadier General of Military Police and, effective this morning, the new Superintendent of the Maryland State Police." Rusk whispered, "No." "She entered under an authorized integrity review," Shaw continued. "You blocked a public complaint, restrained her, denied a call, and altered a report." The radiator clicked. Whitcomb swallowed. "Attention." Heels and boots struck the floor together. Every uniformed officer saluted. Lena could not return it. The chain stopped her hands halfway. Jonah's phone captured the station standing rigid, while the woman they saluted remained cuffed beside an evidence tray. "Open the door," Shaw told Hale. The key scraped twice before the lock turned. Lena stepped out, hands still forward. "Do not remove them." "Ma'am, I'm trying to correct this," Hale said. "You're trying to erase the image." She raised the cuffs 1 inch. "Hold your positions." No one moved. Cho lifted a forensic camera. White light flashed across the restraint number, Lena's watch, and the red lines beneath the steel. "Logged." Lena nodded. The cuffs opened. She rubbed neither wrist. She straightened the folded ticket beneath her watch. Shaw lowered his voice. "Your daughter called my office." Lena read the message glowing in the tray. "The concert is over." "Is she safe?" "Yes." She faced the line. "At ease." Arms fell. Fabric rustled. Someone released a breath. Whitcomb stepped forward. "Superintendent Carter, I accept full responsibility." "No." You will give a complete account first. Lena picked up the burgundy folder, bent at one corner. Director Cho, freeze every camera archive, dispatch log, evidence entry, and report revision from today. Already started. Include previous complaints against this shift. Whitcomb went still. How many? No one answered. Marisol stepped from behind the glass. At least 17. The salute was over. The station's reckoning had just begun. 17, Lena repeated. Marisol nodded toward records. That's what I found without administrator access. Cho faced Whitcomb. Who controls it? The command office. Seal it, Lena said. An investigator fixed a red strip over the command room door. The adhesive tore loudly. Hale held the open cuffs. Superintendent, the restraints are off. We should continue somewhere private. Lena studied the marks around her wrists. Privacy is what allowed this. She extended both hands to Cho. Photograph every angle, record the serial number, removal time, and who applied them. Flash. White light struck the steel and left a bright square in Lena's vision. C-4187, Cho said. Removed at 1:21 p.m. Rusk applied them, Price said. Hale refused adjustment. Another flash. Jonah lowered his phone. His arm trembled. Don't post that recording yet, Lena told him. Preserve the original. I don't know how. Cho handed him a card. My office will help. Whitcomb stepped closer. Lena, I want to apologize. Not before the evidence is secured. Whitcomb swallowed. Superintendent Carter. Lena pointed to the tray. My phone. Price carried it over. 5 missed calls. 3 messages from Naomi. Soundcheck started. I saved your seat. The concert is over. Lena called. Naomi answered after 1 ring. Are you coming now? I'm still at the station. Of course you are. Lena turned from the officers. I am sorry. You always are after. The words were quiet. They hurt more that way. I won't ask you to wait tonight. No, Naomi said. You won't. The line went dead. Lena held the dark screen until her reflection appeared, then placed it beside the bent burgundy folder. Cho said, We need the camera archive. Price raised one hand. A deletion request may be queued under an equipment test code. Hale's face changed. Did you approve it? Cho asked. No, I exported a copy. He removed an encrypted drive from his notebook. Cho accepted it with gloved fingers. Chain of custody begins now. Lena faced Hale. Surrender your badge. You are suspended pending investigation. Hale stared at Whitcomb. She did not move. Officer Rusk, the same order applies. Rusk fumbled twice before the clasp released. Whitcomb asked, And me? You relinquish command of Station 12. Produce every accreditation communication from the past year. I was protecting the station. You were protecting a score. At the booking desk, 3 names appeared above Lena's in the detention log. Beside each was the same phrase. Call declined. Bring me the access records for those detainees. Hale shifted. Those cases are unrelated. They are the reason this case matters. Marisol returned with a box of complaint files. Some were thick, others held 1 sheet. 17, she said, and 4 marked withdrawn. Cho opened the top folder. The signature line had been crossed out in black ink. Who withdrew them? Lena asked. The records say the citizens did. And the recordings? Marisol looked toward the sealed command office. There aren't any. Outside, internal control vehicles entered the lot. Cho broke the first archive seal and found that someone had already removed the final page. Cho held up the archive folder. The last page was removed. Marisol opened the box. 4 complaint files are missing pages. By whom? Lena asked. The withdrawal forms use different names, but the handwriting matches. Rain rattled the high windows. An investigator started a scanner, filling the room with warm paper smell beneath the disinfectant. Cho arranged the files. 17 complaints, 6 missing videos, 4 marked withdrawn, 3 detention logs changed after midnight. Price placed his encrypted drive beside them. My copy has the original booking screen and Hale's edit. Were you ordered to save it? Cho asked. No, I saved it because the order was wrong. Lena watched him. That may cost you friends here. It already did. Hale sat without his badge. Rusk stared at the empty clasp on his shirt. Whitcomb waited outside the sealed command office. Marisol opened another file. Every complaint went to the shift supervisor. Hale, Cho said. And if it named Hale? Lena asked. It still went to him. Lena read a statement from a woman denied a phone call for 4 hours. A black line crossed through the signature. Who contacted her? No one, Marisol said. The file says she withdrew it in person. Did she? I worked that day. She never returned. The scanner hummed. Each page appeared with a new evidence number. Lena faced Whitcomb. You reviewed these? I reviewed summaries. Prepared by whom? Hale? And the missing footage? I was told the cameras failed. 6 times? Whitcomb looked down. At 9:36 p.m., Lena sat in a temporary office at state headquarters. Her coat hung over a chair, damp at the hem. The burgundy folder lay beside the copied complaints. April Morgan entered carrying tea and a tablet. The concert hall sent the recording. Did Naomi ask them to? No, Victor did. Thank him. April set the tablet down. Call her. She answered once. And? Lena moved the tea aside. She was right. She pressed play. Naomi appeared beneath amber stage lights, cello braced between her knees. Thin speakers carried the low notes. Programs rustled near the camera. During the third movement, Naomi looked toward seat A12. Her bow stopped above the string for less than a second. Lena froze the frame. The empty chair remained visible in the corner. You were detained, April said. I promised before that happened. You could not have known. I knew the work would ask for everything. I told her it would not take tonight. Steam curled from the cup. Lena removed the folded ticket from beneath her watch. Rain and sweat had blurred the words around the crease. Front row. This time. April sat opposite her. What happens tomorrow? We contact every complainant. All 17? Independent interviews. Original dispatch records. No station supervisor present. And number 12? Full audit. April nodded toward the paused image. And Naomi? Lena picked up her phone, then set it down. Tomorrow, I ask for another chance without promising a time. A knock sounded. Cho entered with a sealed envelope. We found the missing page, she said. It lists who authorized the deletions. Lena read the signature at the bottom. It was not Hale's. Cho placed the sealed page beneath the evidence lamp. The signature belonged to Dana Whitcomb. Lena read it twice. Bring her in. At 8:10 a.m., Whitcomb entered the hearing room without command insignia. Hale and Rusk sat opposite. 3 nameplates lay face down before them. Cho began. Did you authorize deletion of complaint footage? I authorized storage reductions. For 6 cases? I relied on summaries. Prepared by Hale? Lena asked. Whitcomb looked at her. Yes. After citizens accused him? I was trying to keep the station functional. Hale shifted. Dana, those complaints were weak. Cho turned. You will wait. The room smelled of dust and overheated wiring. A fan clicked every 9 seconds. Lena opened the first file. This woman was held 4 hours without a call. She was disruptive, Hale said. The video is missing. The camera failed. Price connected his drive. Grainy footage appeared. The woman standing quietly while Hale pointed toward a holding room. The camera did not fail, Price said. Rusk crossed the lobby. Hale closed the burgundy folder over the silver seal. Lena never stepped toward either man. I thought she was escalating, Rusk said. What action did you see? Lena asked. She kept questioning me. That is not an action. She challenged my authority. Lena let the fan click twice. You mistook authority for immunity. Hale leaned forward. We made a judgment call. You changed the time, Price said. Hale snapped toward him. You are on probation. And you used that. Price's voice stayed low, though his fingers could not fasten his top button. Cho projected the report history. Subject advanced after warning appeared, vanished, then returned under Hale's credentials. Whitcomb closed her eyes. You saw the pattern? Cho asked. I saw complaints. I also saw a station close to losing accreditation. Lena touched the concert ticket inside her folder. So you chose the score? Whitcomb answered late. Yes. By noon, the findings were read. Rusk was terminated for unlawful detention and false reporting. Hale was demoted, then separated from service after the board reviewed the altered logs. Whitcomb lost command and was referred to the Certification Commission. Rusk stood. You ruined 3 careers over 1 bad day. Lena closed the folder. No, 17 people spoke before I arrived. Hale said nothing as an investigator collected his access card. His hand hovered above his face-down nameplate, then withdrew. Whitcomb remained seated. I told myself I was protecting everyone. From the back row, Marisol answered. You protected the people who never had to file a complaint. Reporters waited outside. Lena used the side corridor. Naomi stood near the elevator holding 2 paper cups. I heard the findings, she said. Lena accepted one. It had gone cold. I won't ask you to forgive the concert. Good. The indicator dropped from 6 to 5. What now? Naomi asked. I changed the process that let this happen. And after that? The doors opened. Lena stopped them with one hand. After that, I listen. Naomi entered beside her. Back in the hearing room, Cho turned over a 4th nameplate. 1 word was printed on it. System. At 7:30 the next morning, Lena stood beside the restraint shelf at Station 12. The room smelled of paint and old coffee. Water ticked from the gutter outside. A deep scratch crossed the wall where cuff cases had struck the plaster. Cover it, the acting commander said. No, Lena replied. Use it. A technician fixed a laminated card over the scratch. Its first line read, Vera before restraint. Price read aloud. What law applies? What immediate risk exists? What identity has been checked? Has the person requested a call? And the final line? Lena asked. If you cannot answer, do not escalate. Officers shifted on the rubber floor. Velcro rasped. A radio hissed, then went quiet. This is not a slogan, Lena said. Every answer is recorded before restraints are used, unless there is an immediate emergency. No blank fields, no copied language. An older officer raised a hand. What if the person keeps arguing? Argument is not danger. What if they refuse identification? Document what you asked, what they said, and what authority you have. Confusion is not permission. Marisol entered, carrying a blue sign for the new complaint desk. She removed her copper-framed glasses to clean them, leaving red marks at her temples. Where do you want this? Where no supervisor can stand between it and the public. They mounted it beside the lobby entrance, beneath Independent Complaint Intake, a code linked to state oversight. Paper forms sat in an open tray, not behind glass. Anyone can take one? Marisol asked. Without asking. And no shift commander sees it first? Not anymore. By noon, Cho demonstrated the camera rule. She pressed disable on a training unit. A warning filled the screen. Written reason required. Automatic notice to oversight. Hale's former desk remained empty. Price watched the warning flash. If someone orders us to shut it off, you preserve the order, Cho said. And if it's a superior? Rank does not erase your duty, Lena answered. Price opened his notebook. Put that in the manual exactly. I already did. At 3:15, the outside review panel met by video. 17 complaint files appeared on screens. Each citizen received an independent interviewer, a written timeline, and confirmation that no one from Station 12 would contact them directly. One woman asked, "Why now?" Lena looked at the red line fading beneath her watch. Because you should not have needed my title to be heard. No one answered. Afterward, Naomi waited in the lobby with her cello case. She studied the new sign, then the checklist over the old scratch. You changed a lot in 4 days. Not enough. Do you still have the ticket? Lena pulled the folded paper from beneath her watch. Naomi nodded. Keep it. For what? A reminder that systems are made of missed promises, too. Lena folded it and returned it beneath the strap. Before leaving, she looked back at the first mandatory drill. Price stopped a trainee who had skipped the identity check. No, he said. Start again. Ask before you assume. Outside, evening light spread across wet pavement. The new complaint sign glowed behind the glass, and for the first time, the station doors stayed unlocked after sunset. 6 months later, the complaint desk at Station 12 stood where the old brochure rack had been. At 8 a.m., Marisol Vega placed fresh forms in the open tray. A green light above the scanner showed that each complaint was copied automatically to independent oversight. A gray-haired man entered, removed his cap, and hesitated. Do I need an appointment? No, Marisol said. Tell me what happened. Across the lobby, Evan Price trained 3 new officers. He stopped one beside the restraint shelf. You skipped the identity check. The subject was argumentative. That is not the question. Price tapped the laminated card covering the old scratch in the wall. Start again. The trainee returned to the beginning and read each line aloud. No supervisor interrupted. At noon, the state published its first public accountability report. 17 complaints had been reopened. 6 citizens received corrections to their records. 4 were reimbursed for legal costs. Camera deletion requests now triggered automatic review, and every denied phone call appeared on a monthly audit. Rusk's termination had been upheld. Hale, demoted after the hearing, resigned before retraining, and later submitted a statement accepting responsibility for the altered reports. Whitcomb lost her command certification and moved to an administrative job outside law enforcement while the commission completed its review. Lena read each outcome once, closed the file, and asked for the next page. That evening, Station 12 held a small ceremony marking the reforms. There were no banners. Lena had refused them. Jonah Reed stood near the back wall with the phone he had used in the lobby. He had never sold the video. After the investigation, he donated the original file to the public archive. "You could have made money from it," Price said. Jonah shrugged. "It wasn't mine to turn into entertainment." Marisol received a new badge naming her Director of Civilian Intake. Her fingers shook when applause began, so she folded both hands around it until they steadied. Lena spoke for less than a minute. "This station saluted me after learning my title," she said. "The work is making sure no one needs one." Then she stepped away. At 8:40 p.m., she entered an empty concert hall carrying the bent burgundy folder. Naomi waited beneath one warm stage light, her cello against her shoulder. "You missed the ceremony dinner," Naomi said. "I left on time." "That's new." Lena sat in seat A12. The cushion released a faint breath of dust. She placed the old ticket on the neighboring chair, its ink blurred but readable. Front row. This time. Naomi studied it. "Why there? So the empty seat is not empty anymore." Naomi lowered her bow. "I'm not ready to say everything is fixed." "I know. And I'm not playing the whole program again." "One piece is enough." The first note moved through the vacant hall, low and clear. Lena kept both hands on her knees. No phone lay between them. No aide waited by the door. Halfway through, Naomi glanced at A12. Lena was still there. As the final phrase approached, the bow slowed above the last string. The ticket rested between mother and daughter, no longer proof of a broken promise, but a place kept open. The final note did not ask anyone to salute. It only asked them to stay. Have you ever seen someone ignored, judged, or denied basic dignity because others believed their authority mattered more than the truth? Share what happened in the comments, especially if one quiet witness changed the outcome. Send this story to someone who believes respect should never depend on a title, uniform, job, or social status. Stories like Lena's remind us that lasting justice is not only about one person being cleared. It is about changing the process that failed them. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, courageous witnesses, and the systemic changes that begin when ordinary people choose not to look away. Your voice, your experience, and your decision to share may help someone else recognize the moment when silence is no longer enough.